attractions are normal. They happen to everybody. The question is, what will we do with them? Even though my husband and I have a good marriage with the normal ups and downs, several times during our marriage I have felt romantic attractions toward other men. Once a neighbor, once a man in our home group. But I was able to manage those attractions by myself until they went away, until my daughter's senior year in high school. I was president of the PTA, and I found myself strangely attracted to the principal. He was a good Christian man. I couldn't believe it. The first week of school, danger sounded, the red lights are flashing, and I knew I was going to be forced to work with this man all that year, and I could just see the headlines. PTA president and principal caught in torrid affair. I knew myself well enough to identify what was happening, and praise God, I was emotionally healthy enough to create a battle plan. You know, it's really critical when this happens that we know what to do. Well, what was my battle plan? I didn't want to embarrass my children by resigning before I even began to fulfill my commitment. But I knew I couldn't have too much contact with the principal. I was in the midst of a real spiritual battle, and I needed some drastic steps to protect myself. I was willing to resign if I needed to, but I wanted to try a creative alternative first. And so what I did was I became a world-class delegator. I found other moms to take over the majority of projects and the time that I would be spending with the principal. And when I did need to spend a little bit of time with him, I focused on what we were doing, the task at hand. I didn't attend the PTA conference because I knew it would require that I travel with him, and I knew that would be foolish. I found ways to do the job with very little contact, and it was a great year for the PTA. As the year progressed, the attraction waned, but if my plan had not worked, indeed, I would have resigned. What do you do if you find yourself in a forbidden relationship? Well, each situation is different. But I will say that if it doesn't work, your battle plan, like what I tried, then you need to flee. If you find yourself slipping, then flee. I have found that these attractions are fewer and less intense as I age. And I've grown closer to the Lord. I've seen these attractions have lost much of their power. But it doesn't mean that I am invincible. I have to stay on guard just like everybody else. But it does mean that Jesus is able, as we entrust ourselves to Him, to help us love our brothers with a holy, sacred, sibling kind of love. If you'd like to explore this topic more fully about what a God-honoring, sacred sibling relationship would look like, so that we will not destroy mixed gender community that God calls us to in our churches and in our ministries. If you'd like to explore more, read our book, Mixed Ministry, Working Together as Brothers and Sisters in an Oversexed Society. We wrote that book to help normal people figure out how to handle and manage their attractions.